They smirked the moment I walked into the courtroom. My mom's lips curved first, that smug, practice kind of smile she probably rehearsed in the mirror. My dad followed, draping his arm over her chair like he owned the place again. They thought the victory was already theirs. And maybe, once upon a time, it had been, back when they left me at 8 years old on the steps of a foster home, and never came back. But now they were here to reclaim what they'd thrown away, my grandfather's estate. The one thing they'd always wanted but never earned. The bailiff called the case number and the judge stepped in. When he looked up and really saw me, everything stopped. He stood, the courtroom went still. "Wait," he said softly. "You're her." The air shifted. My parents froze, confused. They didn't understand yet. But I did. Because that moment, that recognition was the beginning of their end. My grandfather wasn't just rich. He was powerful. Old money, private jets, offshore accounts, the kind of man who could build or break empires with a single phone call. And I was a granddaughter no one knew existed until his will was read. I'll never forget the night he found me, 19 years old, serving coffee in a greasy diner on the edge of the city. He sat in the corner booth, silent, watching me like he was seeing a ghost. "You have your mother's eyes," he said, "but not her greed." That night, he took me in and gave me everything they'd taken away: a home, an education, a sense of belonging. But what he really gave me was preparation. He knew my parents. He knew they'd come crawling back someday. And he made sure I'd be ready when they did. When he died, his lawyers read his final wish. Everything, the estates, the companies, the trust funds, was mine. Not a penny to his estranged daughter or her husband. 2 days later, the lawsuit arrived: emotional distress, coercion, mental incompetence, their signatures right at the bottom, their greed dripping off every line. I didn't flinch. I didn't post or plead my case online. I stayed quiet and started building my counterattack. First, I went to Grandpa's lawyer, Mr. Dale, the executor of the estate. He'd known me since the day I joined the family. When I told him my plan, he smiled. "You inherited his mind too," he said. "Step 1, move everything into a foundation under my name, not to hide it, but to protect it. Public, charitable, legally untouchable. Step 2, hire the forensic accountant Grandpa had trusted for years. I wanted every document, every bank record, every trace of money my parents had touched decades ago. Step 3, wait, because I knew they'd dig. And when they did, they'd find the shell company Grandpa had used to support their lavish lifestyle. The same one they drained before abandoning me. It wasn't just greed. It was fraud." Back in court, I could see the sweat starting to bead on their foreheads. The judge was still standing, his eyes darting between me and the stack of documents on his bench. "Miss Hale," he said, turning to my lawyer, "is this true?" My lawyer nodded calmly. "All verified, Your Honor, including proof of past embezzlement from the late Mr. Hale's trust. We have the original bank statements signed by these two plaintiffs." My parents' faces went pale. My dad leaned forward. "That's ridiculous." He snapped. "Quiet," the judge barked. His voice wasn't neutral anymore, it was personal. I understood why. He'd known my grandfather, worked with him when he was still young, and more importantly, he was one of the scholarship recipients from the new foundation I'd set up under Grandpa's name. That was why he'd stood when he saw me. Recognition, respect, gratitude. My mother whispered something to her lawyer, her voice trembling for the first time. I didn't move. I didn't need to. "Case dismissed with prejudice," the judge said firmly. "And I'll be forwarding these documents to the district attorney's office for review." The room went silent. Then came the sound like the world splitting open. My dad exhaled hard. My mother turned ghost white. They had come to take everything from me. Instead, they walked out facing a criminal investigation. After the hearing, I stayed seated while everyone else left. The judge stepped down from the bench and walked over. "Your grandfather would be proud," he said quietly. "I hope so," I replied. "He taught me how to protect what matters." He nodded once and left me alone with the echo of the gavel and the memory of people who once called me worthless. Outside, reporters swarmed. Cameras flashed. My parents pushed through them, their masks gone, their faces raw and exposed. I walked past without saying a word. No statements, no victory speeches, just silence, the kind of silence that ends bloodlines built on greed. People say revenge is poison, but they're wrong. It's medicine if taken in the right dose at the right time. I didn't destroy my parents. I just reminded them what it feels like to be left behind exactly the way they once left me.